All right, folks, here are my top 5 things to teach people in Madeira when they are new players to the game. Or maybe just to reiterate to even players of the game that have played before. Okay, number 1, and most important, I feel like to tell a player so they don't feel like they just got jacked, is that if they want to do a building action, they have to have people in this region. So when the game is new and when you're just starting the game, you can tell the people like, okay, we're gonna go around and we're gonna be doing these actions here, right? If you want to do this action, if you have no one in the region where you're trying to, say if you're doing this action, you wanna do this action up here and you have nobody in this region, or this one and no one, if you're trying to do this and you have nobody in the region, you will not be able to do that action, okay? If you have one person there, you get to do this action here, the top action, and if you have 2, top action, right? Which, by the way, this should probably also say 1 or 2 instead of just 1. And then if you have 3 or more people, you get to do the bottom action. I would just reiterate that and just keep telling them that for, take you, 2 minutes to just let them know that right from the beginning. That's a very important part. Number 2, it is very important to tell new players that these crown requests are the primary way that they're going to be getting victory points in this game, okay? And that they're going to be scored at different parts of the game, and that they're going to be getting them from over here from the guild board, right? They're going to be taking them from here, and that's how you get most of your points in this game. I mean, everybody always, is concerned with talking about all the many rules, and this kind of gets lost, in the forest here about that it's just a very basic thing that easily gets forgotten about, that you got to tell new players, these are the way, really, that you make the most points in the entire game. You have to fill these crown requests, and also that each one you take, you are actually going to be responsible for fulfilling throughout the game. Okay, so it's not like, oh, I'm going to take, 2, but I'm going to be able to choose between 2 and get rid of this one and do this one. No, actually, the way it works during the game is you get one, and then you're going to get another. You're going to pick between the 2, right? You're going to do one, but this one still stays, and it becomes part of your hand, basically, and you're still going to have to fulfill that, okay? So that's really important to tell new players. Number 3, you should tell new players about how the windmill works, okay? That's something that is easily forgotten and you just kind of want to glance over it, but tell them how important the windmill is, because at the windmill, and tell them what phases, that these phases are very important, B, C, and D, B and C, B, C, and D. These are the phases where you could do these different things in the windmill. Don't forget, new players, that you can always spend 2 wheat to move up. And this right here in the windmill, you have to tell players this. This is how many people you can feed. See the icon of the person, the meeple? That's how many people you can feed, right? So getting this to move up is very, very good, and you spend wheat on that. It's one of the great things about wheat that wheat does in the game. Also, that you can move it down during B and C, and you can get $3 or a piece of bread. And many, many people forget to do this. They'll go through their turn and not do this and take pirates instead and say, oh man, I should have brought this down and done that. And this right here is one of the most important things to show them, that you can actually take 2 resources and of any resources and convert it into one other resources, and you can do that as many times as you want, right? So a lot of times you get stuck. You're like, oh, I have 2 grapes, I would just wish I had 1 more sugar. Maybe you want to get this 4 sugar spot or this 5 sugar spot, but you only have 4 sugar. But guess what? If you have 2 grapes, you can convert that into a sugar and you got it. Another really important thing is that you have to have access to wood. Okay, if you don't have a meeple that is, and this is something that I forget too, it's very easy to forget this, so reiterate this right in the beginning. You have to have access to wood. Right here, the forest field, you'll have wood for as much as you want if you put a person there. If you're in another section where there is wood, you'll have access to this wood, and that's where you take it from, okay? If this situation is going on right here and you want to buy some wood, well, okay, do you have access to wood? If you're a yellow player, yes, I do. Okay, now I can take that 2 wood from there that I just bought. If this is your situation right now, okay, and you're not sitting on wood and you're not in the forest field, and you say, oh, I'm going to just spend $3 and get wood, no, you can't actually, because you have no access to it. And number 5, folks, I think that in the beginning of the game, you should always tell your new players that they are going to have to feed their people bread, and they're going to have to maintain their boats with wood, okay? I mean, not that the punishment is really all that harsh. If you don't feed a couple people, you just get some pirates, right? If you don't have enough wood, you get pirates, but your players will get mad at you if you don't tell them this in the beginning, because it's something that they really should know, and they might have to strategize for and you know, put into their overall strategy that's a really important part of this game. And it's something that, you know, when you're talking about all the minutiae of the rules of this game, it's kind of hard to remember that big thing that, you know, yeah, you know, there's an upkeep mechanic in this game, two upkeep mechanics where, you know, you have to feed your people bread and you have to pay wood for your boats.